How's it going, everyone? I want to go over rumblings of, a potential PlayStation acquisition. It seems like that's been a discussion point for a lot of people over the last few months and really going back since this acquisition spree really started on both ends. But we'll talk about it as Death Stranding has joined the official PlayStation Studios banner, which seems like a rather random addition given that Death Stranding has been out for quite a while, but we'll talk about that. BioWare has a little bit of an update on their page, and I'll talk that. Regarding Mass Effect, we'll briefly cover that. And Ghost of Tsushima wrapping up updates as noted on Sucker Punch Productions' Twitter account. Development of that game is wrapping up. And that being updates and whatnot for Ghost of Tsushima, a new patch in patch 2.18 has dropped as well. We'll talk that at the end of this video. But first up, Death Stranding has joined the official PlayStation Studios banner. Now, credit to German Strands for pointing this out over on Twitter. They post a lot of PlayStation coverage, so give them a look. But yeah, PlayStation Studios has had this banner for quite a while, and I remember, things often get added to it, especially when they acquire new studios or new games come out, but there are notable titles such as Ghost of Tsushima on it, Ratchet & Clank Horizon, Days Gone, and most recently, Death Stranding has been added to it. Now, this seems like a pretty out-of-nowhere addition, given that Death Stranding came out back in 2019, and then the upgrade just came out back last year. However, you would think with the upgrade, if you just want to do it for that sake, you would add it then, but Death Stranding is not a first-party title in the sense that Kojima's studio is not owned and is not acquired by PlayStation. It's a studio that also works with other publishers, and Death Stranding's on PC, so, and PlayStation was not the publisher for Death Stranding on PC, so that could be the next acquisition for Sony. That's what a lot of people are thinking. It makes all the sense in the world, given that it seems like Kojima and PlayStation have a solid working relationship. The real issue comes to the fact of, if you're talking about those IPs that Kojima is very much known for, I mean Metal Gear, obviously there has to be some work done and some mending of the bridge with Konami. I'm sure they can get there, and if PlayStation can help, mend that bridge, that would be great to see, because I know a lot of people want Bluepoint to do a Metal Gear Solid 1 remake, and I know a lot of people want Hideo Kojima in general to work on anything Metal Gear related. And there is a little IP called Silent Hill that I know a lot of people want to see a new title out of, but Kojima being added to the studio would be a major acquisition. I mean, Death Stranding was a game that I know not everybody loved. I really enjoyed Death Stranding. I thought it was a pretty compelling title. I know a lot of people call it UPS Delivery Man Simulator or whatever, but I thought the narrative was strong. I thought the presentation was really good, and, the director's cut is pretty decent as well, just a little overpriced, but, yeah, Kojima's studio would be a pretty solid acquisition, all things considered, and would be right in line with what I would expect Sony to acquire. I don't expect them to get something at the level of a premier publisher. That just seems out of their budget. Yeah, Microsoft has that capital. I just don't know if Sony's willing to throw that capital around for a big-time publisher like the one a lot of people talk about. The Bandai Namco's, the Square Enix's, the Capcoms of the world. That's a major, major undertaking. And maybe it'll happen, A lot of those elements are kind of out of my wheelhouse as far as what kind of finances Sony wants to attach to PlayStation Studios, but nonetheless, that is an update. Take it with a grain of salt for now, but an interesting story to monitor. Alright, moving on from that. Obviously, BioWare kind of in the news recently. They got Dragon Age 4 in development. They got a new Mass Effect in development, but what is the status of both of those games? Well, Dragon Age, probably not going to see that for quite a while, maybe end of 2024, around that time. Mass Effect, we know that it was in pre-production for a little bit, but it was noted on the BioWare blog. There's also the next game in the Mass Effect universe, which is now in early development. It's going to be a while before we can talk about it more in detail, but we can't wait to show you what we're working on. This is one of those games that, yes, I know a lot of people got amped up when they heard a new Mass Effect was going to be happening, and maybe some people not as amped up as others, just given BioWare's recent track record. But you also have to keep in mind, this is a game we're not going to see for a very, very long time, and I've been seeing people in my comment section recently say that, why are we hearing about all these games that are coming out in 23 and 24? Why not talk about games in 22? And I kind of agree with you to an extent. Obviously, they want to let the consumer know what they're working on, but yeah, sometimes hearing about games that are going to come out probably in 2024, 2025, I don't know. it's hard to get excited sometimes for games like that. Like Pragmata, that was a game that got announced back in, I want to say, 2020 for a 2022 window, and back then I was like, alright, kind of early to be announcing that, and now we know that that game's delayed until 2023. I don't even know what was the point of doing that reveal, but nonetheless, at least Mass Effect is progressing along nicely. And again, I always say, yes, BioWare is not everybody's favorite studio right now. After the releases of Mass Effect Andromeda, Anthem, you know, they have a lot of work to do to rebuild that goodwill, but you also have to remember that in gaming, the narrative can change very quickly. It is very much a what have you done for me lately kind of a game. So if Dragon Age 4 comes out and it's a relatively good game, the anticipation will heighten for the next Mass Effect as well, and the narrative on BioWare is going to change very quickly. Now, this is kind of a make or break period because I don't know what's going to happen if there's another disappointing title. And I would hate to be BioWare right now. I would hate to be the developers right now, because you must have a ridiculous amount of pressure on your shoulders just to deliver a banger with both of these games. And yeah, we'll see how it turns out. Hopefully we do hear more information by the end of the year. Lastly, I do want to note, Ghost of Tsushima patch 2.18 has dropped. It actually dropped a couple days ago. Sucker Punch noted on Twitter, in the coming days, which is out right now, will release patch 2.18 for Ghost of Tsushima. This patch changes several Legends items, fixes a bug that prevented some players from earning Hidden Heart, adds save imports to Legends Standalone, and more. There's a full list of patch notes over on the PlayStation website. They also did note that they are not actively working on any future patches as of now. Obviously, the game came out almost 2 years ago. Yeah, July of 2020. Director's Cut came out in August of 2021, but there's a lot of fixes, and I won't go through everything, but in single player, increased Silk inventory held by New Game Plus merchant, and fixed dialogue and cutscene issues in single player. So, Ghost of Tsushima was a game that I raved about, and I imagine we're gonna see a sequel at some point. The game seemingly sold incredibly well, and yeah, the ending, while it has a little bit of closure, I feel like it just sets the table of where we can go with Jin Sakai's story. So, yeah, it really just kind of was laying the foundation of what Ghost of Tsushima could develop into, and there's so many different directions you can go with a Ghost of Tsushima 2 that I really want to see what they do in a potential sequel. I also do hope that it's not as long of a wait as the turnaround between Infamous Second Son and Ghost of Tsushima. 6.5 years is sometimes, you know, I get it, these games are big and take quite a while to develop, but man, if we're gonna talk about Ghost of Tsushima in like 2026, yeah, that's a long time away, but hopefully now that they have the foundation for this game set, it'll be a quicker turnaround for a potential Ghost of Tsushima 2, and hopefully, you know, if it's not Sucker Punch is helping out with a new Sly Cooper game, or at least another studio is working on. Obviously, Sucker Punch, well known for their work on Sly 1 through 3 on the PlayStation 2, which, by the way, give me an HD remaster of that. That's playable on PS4, please. Thank you. That's gonna do it for me. Again, what do you guys think about Death Stranding being added to this banner? This is a recent update, so maybe it's a harbinger of things to come. We'll see how that turns out. Mass Effect entering early development. Hopefully that game progresses along nicely. No major delays. Fingers crossed on that one. And Ghost of Tsushima updates look to be coming to an end, but they'll continue to monitor things and fix critical issues and whatnot. Ghost of Tsushima is a fantastic game, and if you have yet to play it, definitely go check it out. I imagine it's going to be one of the PlayStation Plus Premium titles as well. So that's going to do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.